Check this out. Brand new Adventurer DIY kit from Ice-Hole Power. Everything you need on the website, minus wires and connectors. Even supply amped outdoors lithium batteries. All available on iceholepower.com. Let's go ahead and put one together. What's up YouTube? John, JDS Outdoors. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we got another goodie box from our good friends over at Ice-Hole Power. Sent us some fun stuff to play with. So let's go ahead, open it up and see what we got. I know he's been releasing a bunch of new different styles of boxes lately, so we might be lucky. I already know what it is, but I figured I'd open it with you guys, see what we got. Alright, so looks like we have the new Adventurer power box, which is it comes pre-drilled, so it's ready for everything to be installed, and it's significantly shallower than previous models. Inside this box looks like a charger, battery charger. Let's go ahead and open it up and see what we're working with here. As always, everything always comes very well packaged. Holy cow, that thing's light. This is a 12 amp hour amped outdoors lithium battery. Wow, that's light. I wonder if it comes fully charged. Let's check it out. .25 volts. We got a fully charged battery. And also got another goodie pack with all the goodies to install in the lid. We got the new glow cup. I don't know if you've used the glow cup before, but a lot of people have asked me what they're good for. This is primarily used for ice fishing. You dip a jig inside here, a UV glow jig, and this charges the jig up so you can drop it down the hole and it glows. So this isn't a necessity part of a power box, but if you want a good ice fishing power box, this is a necessity then. So that's what the glow cup is for. This is the new T-bracket, some screws, all the gauges, and this is the new charging port, the SAE charging port. It mounts right there on the front. Inline fuses, switches, and all the screws and hardware for mounting everything. Very nicely packaged. This is why I like Ice-Hole Power. It is a veteran-owned company. You always got to support our vets. And you got to have the sticker. So, let's go ahead and get everything mounted up. Alright, for starters, let's go ahead and get all the pieces installed, and then we can go ahead and get to wiring it. I'm going to start up front first with the SAE plug, which is a nice waterproof plug. I got to drill a few holes to install the screws. Judging by the way that this is laid out, looks to me like it uses these silver screws compared to the black ones. Next, we're going to install this T-bracket holder. What this is used for is pertaining to like you kayak fishermen. You can put different T-bracket accessories on here, like GoPro mounts, rod holders, and things of that nature. And where this mounts is right underneath where the handle sits. So let's go ahead and mount that. You just pick the location that you want and install it. Alright, now that we got everything installed inside the box, it's time to get to some wiring. But before I get to some wiring, there's a couple important things I want to point out about installing all of this stuff. The major one being these lights. When you install these lights and you take the nut off the back and fish it through and then go ahead and attach the nut on the inside, you don't want to wrench this thing on with a wrench, because these lights are very easy to break. They're very good lights, but this housing right here, if you over tighten it, tends to pull out. That's why there's always a couple extra thrown in with the kits. Also, you may encounter a bad one every now and then. It happens with LEDs, but you have some extras to replace, and they're very easy to do so. Ice Hole Power actually recommends individually testing each light prior to installation, just to make sure that it's good and you throw two good ones in to save yourself some time. Another thing I want to point out is this black cover here. You don't have to use this. This is personal preference. You can just directly put each outlet into the holes that are provided in this kit, or you can use the black plate. And now another thing, it's optional as well if you want to put the screws in. I just realized that during the last section I forgot to put the screws in, so I'm going to do that real quick and then get to the wiring. So when it starts with the wiring, you want, there's a few different ways you can wire this up. One of which is, so this is going to be your master on and off. That's going to control turning all these on and sending power to pretty much everywhere else in the box. You can wire this up so that one of these banana jacks is live all the time when the switch is on. And or you can wire it up to one of these switches being on, so that way you can charge it from the outside. That's optional. You don't have to do it that way. The SAE jack or port is also a charging port, so you can plug in your regular charger into here. You don't even have to open the box to charge the battery. this is going to be my preferred method of charging this box. So I'm going to wire this directly to the battery, and we'll use the charger to charge it that way. So without further ado, let's go ahead and explain how this is going to be wired up. So the SAE port, positive and negative, is going to get hooked in to this battery, which will be laid on its side. Also, the little piece of foam that is given in the bottom of the kit, don't throw that away. Save that so you can use that for a buffer on your battery. But hook this directly to the battery, and then we're going to have a positive and negative also coming off of the battery going to all of our accessories. Prior to it going to our accessories though, we're going to go ahead and throw this inline fuse off the positive side of the battery and then run it to our accessories. First one being the master on and off, and then we're going to jump that to the rest of our stuff. We have pretty much the equal amount of switches on either side of all of our ports, our USB, our 12 volt outlet, and our voltmeter. So we'll just jump from here, split off over to here, jump to here, and then to here. So you can go ahead and wire it up that way. But like I said, it's completely up to you. If you want to have one of these wired up so that the banana jack is hot all the time, you can go ahead and do that too. I have other videos. Check out my other power box videos. The last couple from ISO Power that I've done were wired up that way, but they did not have this port. So we're going to go that way. But I'm going to quit rambling and I'm going to go ahead and get this wired up. I am going to use 16 gauge wire, and I'm going to stray away from the black and red. I'm going to do brown as my negative and orange as my positive, just to keep it kind of fun on this box. So let's go ahead and start the wiring up. All you need to do this is your regular everyday average wire stripper to install all of this, and you also are going to need a few different spade connectors. So you can get those locally at your local hardware store. Same with all of your wire. Alright, so what I went ahead and done here is I hooked up the positive and negative together, or the two negatives and the two positives together that are going to go to the battery through the inline fuse, and added enough cord so that way it reaches the end of the box, has plenty of space to make it over here to the master. And we can tie up all these extra wires once we get to that point with zip ties at the end of the video. So we're going to start by going to the master switch and then jumping over, and we're going to start on the negative side. So the little brass colored one is all of your negatives. So we're going to jump here, over to here, then branch off, over to here, here, and so on. We can't forget about the negatives on our different accessories either. So your negative on your glow cup will go to the negative on the post for the glow cup. And this switch is going to be for your lights, the lower switch. So we can go ahead and run these over alongside here, or we can just tie it all together up here and run it along that way, whichever way you want your wiring to run. So let's go ahead and tie all of our negatives together with little jumper wires. All right, so now we have all of our negatives chained together. Not forgetting about our power posts and also our glow cup and our LEDs. So now the next step is going to be installing all of our positives. We're going to start by going to the middle of the master switch from the battery to the outside of the master switch to all the rest of our items. Now we want to make sure that we put our LEDs, like for example, I already have this wired up, so I'll go and do it. The LED is going to be plugged into the outside of the switch, leaving the middle open, so we can run our jumper wire. And same with our glow cup. I'm going to put that to the outside of the switch, leaving the middle open for our jumper wire. So now we're going to run from the middle, battery to the middle, outside, jump to here, split off, jump, jump, and jump. And then I'll cut back in and explain the next step, which we're getting really close to being done. So it's pretty exciting. Let's go ahead, get to wire. Alright, now that we got it all wired up with our positive coming from the battery to the middle of the switch and jumping out to the middle of the rest of our switches, and then the outside hooked up to our accessories, now the next step is going to be installing the 10 amp provided fuse into the fuse holder. Kind of a snug fit. That way it doesn't vibrate loose. Then we can go ahead and hook up our battery and see if we wired this up properly. If we didn't, the fuse will pop and we'll know we have to find the issue. Alright, so no smoking so far. Alright, so our master switch turns on our USB, our 12 volt, and our voltage reader, and then it sends power to the rest of our switches. So once we flip our switches, it should turn everything on, but you can see, oh, never mind, I had it backwards. So you can see the glow cup is now glowing, and it's got glow in the dark film inside there. Flip that switch on, turns on the LED lights in the front, and each one of these turns on your corresponding banana jacks. So you can hook up your 12 volt lights, anything that your Vexlar charger, or your Vexlar I mean, anything that runs off of 12 volt. So let's go ahead and get these wires cleaned up quick, so that way we can close this box up and call this project a wrap. Now keep in mind there's multiple different ways of wiring these up. It's completely up to you on how you want to wire it. That's the beauty of these boxes, is the freedom to wire it up and make it your own. Even if you buy a supplied kit like this from ISO Power, you just have a lot more help with the hard stuff, like drilling all the holes if you buy it this way. And if it's something that you're not comfortable wiring up at all, Ice Hole Power also does sell complete boxes ready to use. And they're put together by a electronics technician. I believe that's what he is. He's got multiple years experience in low voltage 12 volt circuits, and he's an Air Force veteran. Tons of knowledge in how these boxes and electrical systems work. So if you're not comfortable wiring it up yourself, he will be more than happy to wire it up for you. And you can find out all those boxes at iceholepower.com. I will leave a link to the website in the description, whether you want to buy a complete box, buy some parts for a box, or build your own box. You can find it all there. He's also got a bunch of DIY videos on how to build these with a little bit nicer wiring. I mean, I'm not an electrician, so he does a way better job at installing these and making them look pretty than I do. I just like to pretend and put out the videos for you guys to watch. And I also appreciate the multiple years of support in these boxes. One of the most popular power box videos on YouTube is my power box number 2. So go check that out if you haven't. So here we have the Adventure Box. This box is perfect, nice and light, easy to charge. You can even run a solar panel off that if you want. You just got to watch your voltage, don't overcharge your battery. Yeah, this thing's super light, super sweet, perfect for the kayaker, backpacker, kayaker especially with that T-bracket. So yeah, if you like what you see, make sure you check out iceholepower.com, listed in both spots. Share the video with your friends. You guys know what to do. As always, thank you for watching JDS Outdoors.